One of the questions I get asked a lot about my technique is whether you can wash it. Now, I don't really do a lot of washing on my projects, but I can understand if you're using these squares to make a cushion cover or a table runner or something like that, there may be the need to wash it. But I don't know because I've never washed it. So I've decided to do an experiment. I've taken 4 squares, different fabrics, different layouts, and I've stitched them together, as you can see, with a zigzag. And then I've stitched them onto a backing, zigzagged around the edges again to create a little sample quilt. And now I'm going to stick it into the washing machine with the rest of the laundry and we'll see what happens. Okay, so here goes. Into the machine. See it? Close the door and switch it on. The machine has finished its cycle, so let's have a look. Now, where is it? Hey, there it is. Okay, so not looking too bad, I think. So I'm going to hang it to dry, or I think I'll lay it to dry, and then when it's dry, we'll have another look. But it doesn't look too bad to me. So the first impression is pretty okay. It's still wet, of course. So I'm going to let it dry now, and then we'll see. Okay, so I've washed and dried and pressed my little sample, and now we can have a look to see what happened to it in the washing machine. And actually I think it's looking pretty good. It hasn't fallen apart. It's not fraying all that much. So I think we can say that yes, you can wash your blocks or your projects made with your blocks. There are a couple of things that you might want to think about. Now, let me do it like this. These 2 blocks were made with simple squares, which means that when you do the circular stitching, you'll be stitching over all the raw edges. These 2 blocks are different. This one is a strippy one, the bottom one, and the other one is just a, well, more or less crazy one. And you can see that here in the corner, for example, it's more of a risk. And for the strippy ones as well, those are the risky spots when it comes to fraying. So my advice would be, if you want to make something with strips or with diagonals or other pieces that aren't, and you want to wash it, then I would advise just keep on stitching over everything. So don't stop with your last complete circle, but just add more stitches so that you cover all the raw edges. And if you do that, I think it should be fine. Now remember, I washed it in the washing machine because I wanted to give it the worst possible treatment to see what would happen. If this was my project, I wouldn't put it in the washing machine. I would, you know, treat it really gently, put it in the bathtub, hand wash it, not wringing, not scrubbing, not doing anything that might make it fray. So my first advice would be, if you don't have to wash it, don't wash it. 2, if you do have to wash it, do it gently by hand, plenty of water, and don't wring and don't scrub. And then, you know, if there's absolutely no other solution, you have to put it in the washing machine, then I hope you've done lots of stitching so that it won't fall apart. If, in the worst case, it does fall apart a bit, the beauty about working with all these little bits and pieces is that you can always go back into it, cover the hole that with another piece of fabric, do some more stitching, and it might even end up looking better than it did before you put it in the washing machine. So I hope I've solved this problem, and happy stitching.